Hello, friends, and welcome to Much Review About Nothing. Meet the new mutants, same as the old mutants. On this podcast, we review a movie we haven't seen through cultural osmosis and what we can find on the internet. I'm your host, Billy Greer.
And we're your co-hosts, Jake Greer and
Luke Greer. Da-da-da-da-da.
Let's don't watch a movie. I can put in the X-Men theme instead of our theme.
Is
little bit.
this based in the same universe?
Yeah, it's X-Men.
That's what I was thinking. So I love that theme song.
So, for introspection, intersection,
yes.
Do we have anything?
No, I thought you were gonna jump into it.
Okay, because I do have some things, but I didn't know if anyone else did. I want to give you a chance.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so I've seen Bloodshot.
Oh, that's right. We were gonna talk about it.
Yeah, and Bloodshot, I don't think I've been more surprised by a movie being decent and entertaining than Bloodshot.
Yeah, it was okay. I kind of wish at times it was more fragmented and more of a mystery, but it was obviously just a straight action movie.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But it still had that extra level, that extra twist that kept things interesting.
Yeah.
Which I appreciated, because, I just expected a dumb, witch hunter level movie. But, we were I was a little hard on the movie. And sure, I didn't get my, heartwarming twist about a man overcoming his divorce with the use of nano
I mean, it was kind of that.
In a way, yeah, but yeah, so Bloodshot, it was quite a surprise.
It was okay.
Yeah.
I wasn't impressed, but it was okay.
Well, I went in with such low expectations that the fact that it even presented something that engaged me felt like a triumph.
Yeah.
A triumph, says Billy Greer about the movie Bloodshot.
But that is not hard for Billy to be engaged.
Hey, I'm the most erudite film criticizer here.
You watch Transformers, Billy.
You're also the most lucid.
Look, yeah. I'm a man of many preferences. I love the highbrow, and I love rolling about in the muck with the Michael Bays and the the Vin Diesels of the world as well. I see the qualities of all these works on their own level.
Billy can paint with all the colors of the movies.
So we saw Bloodshot, and I have seen half of Gemini Man. Not quite as impressed,
Oh, really? What's not impressed you about it, Billy?
I don't know. It just feels like action movie, the movie. It's just kind of
With Will Smith?
Yeah, and Will Smith's fine. He's just, I don't know.
Himself?
He just seems tired.
Well, yeah. I mean, he's a tired man.
I mean, he doesn't really act. Like I say, he just plays himself.
Yeah, Jada's cheating on him. I guess he's cheating on her too. And
Yeah. His son is slightly insane.
His son wants to be Batman and a rapper at the same time.
White.
He dressed up as Batman, white Batman at a wedding. I don't know what the context
What do you mean
was.
by white Batman?
The suit is white.
Oh,
Yeah.
I was like, what, he white-faced himself?
No, I realized I should have
I was confused.
put that a different way.
I was confused.
But alternative costume Batman, white mode.
Oh, like Darth Vader's a hypothetical good costume.
Yeah. I mean, we're hard on Will Smith, but I like Bloodshot more, and I really feel like the fact that Ang Lee shot it in 60 FPS is a detriment because it just looks weird. Like I said while watching it, it looks like a reality show. That kind of just wide view on a lot of shots that there's no reason there should be, and the CGI is real rubbery and seems extra rapid, and I can't tell that's intentional
it's
or
extra frames per second.
Yeah, and they sped it because I don't think our TV and our player can keep up with that So I think we're just seeing it the wrong way. So I don't know if they sped up the CGI so it would match the 60 FPS, and the machine's not. So it just looks like Gumby fighting.
It's like that pain fight in Naruto.
Yeah. It's like Gumby versus one of those inflatable things in front of a car dealership.
It's just fulfilling arms, inflatable tube, man.
Yeah. So not quite as impressed, but it's not like the abomination I thought it would be. It too is watchable.
My question: how is young Will Smith?
Like old Will Smith, but with a weirder face.
Is the CGI slightly off-putting?
I don't understand. We have such good deep fakes that individuals do on YouTube versus Hollywood who can't see.
We're talking about clips, though.
Yeah, and it always looks weird. It's just you accept it in a short clip because it's a joke, but for extended periods of time, you're like, no, that's like an 18-year-old man with Will Smith's face pasted on him. It just doesn't look right.
Can you imagine that being your big break in the movies? You get to be in action and star along Will Smith. However, we will be putting Will Smith's face over yours.
You're a surrogate
Will
body.
Smith?
Will Smith.
Well, Will Smith's face.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's hard to say.
Well, he's probably just a stunt guy.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. It's for him.
I just like to imagine that. Like, I got the part to star with Will Smith. Oh, by the way, you're Will Smith.
Well, I just imagine that he's brought in by like the Scientologists, and they tell him he's got a part, and then they strap him to a chair, and he's screaming, and they like rip his face off. And,
But it's like face off.
Yeah. Okay, let's put out Gemini, man.
Yeah, let's get into our movie that we're not watching today, which is New Mutants.
Yeah, and I already made an old Mutants joke, but that was kind of the running joke on Twitter because this thing got held back so much. We thought it's going to be the old Mutants by the time we finally see it.
Yeah, it's been like 3 years.
Yeah, I know. It felt like we never would see it, and I especially didn't think we'd see it in 2020, the year of the apocalypse. But it just suddenly it's coming out. Everybody enjoy.
They really missed a chance to hold off on X-Men Apocalypse until this year.
Yeah,
that would have been
they missed their chance. Yeah, that one. The less said about that movie, the better.
Yeah, that's how it's been for a lot of the new X-Men stuff. Apocalypse, Dark Phoenix.
Why can't people do X-Men right?
I don't know. I wanted to talk about just X-Men in general, and I mean I've been a fan since the Hugh Jackman days, like the very first one before like the turn of the 21st century. It's like, which century is it?
It's the turn of the 20th century.
Yeah, it's like 1900.
We'd be out there going, oh, wow, look at the new cars.
Yeah, it's the 20th century, the turn of the 20th century X-Men. It's like a black and white Nickelodeon.
I mean, we know it from, like, at least I was first introduced to X-Men through the cartoon. Like the original cartoon. What year was that?
80s.
Yeah, probably late 80s, right?
I just remember it kind of. I think it was good, but I don't know. I don't remember it that much. I thought there was like a lack of action most of the time. Maybe that was me.
Because when you're a kid and all you have is TV, you just see bits and pieces and an episode here and there. So I couldn't tell you like overall quality. But it was one of those shows where it's like, oh, cool, X-Men is on. We got to watch it.
Yeah.
It was one of those shows where you stop to watch it.
I always remember enjoying it, but I always remember Jean Grey getting shot every time.
Yeah.
Most useless.
Yeah, I just remember her and Cyclops just being completely useless.
Yeah.
But maybe that was just me.
The running joke.
And it hurts being a Cyclops fan.
Yeah.
I really didn't like the newer movies.
What do you like about Cyclops?
I don't know. I liked his costume, his ability. He had some good, like backstory and drama, but it just, as it went on, it just like Wolverine got more popular.
Because to me, like liking Cyclops is like liking Leonardo from Ninja Turtles.
I like Leonardo too.
Yeah, so
it's the team leaders that Luke likes authority.
I see. Yeah. Okay, maybe that's it. But it's like to me, he's just like guy man of the team, but he does have a cool ability. What
I really remember fondly about the X-Men was the X-Men, I think it was PlayStation 2 game that we had. That's those like co-op, isometric.
What is that genre called?
It's a top down.
like it's an top-down beat 'em up, kind of like Diablo. A bit.
But with RPG elements.
Yeah,
it's like Marvel Ultimate. Is it Marvel Ultimate Alliance?
Yeah.
Marvel Ultimate Alliance. All those. I just remember that, and then getting to the part where you have to choose between Jean Grey and Nightcrawler, and then we fight this boss who we could never win against. He would just kill us every time.
What idiot would pick Jean Grey over Nightcrawler? Is what I want to know.
I don't know.
Nightcrawler's one of the cooler characters.
I know. We're like, oh, Nightcrawler, let's get him.
What's her hero name?
Who?
Phoenix.
Jean Grey?
Yeah. Is it Phoenix? I thought Phoenix was like her dark version.
It is. She doesn't have for some reason she never had a name. It is just Jean Grey
until she gets her Phoenix.
Yeah.
Well, it's called Dark Phoenix.
Yeah.
I always thought Phoenix was her name. Then.
Well, they never call her that. She's just Jean Grey.
Well, she was Jean Grey, then she got the Phoenix.
Right, but
and then she became evil and became Dark Phoenix. So I guess she was Jean Grey until she became the Phoenix Force.
It's always been another running joke. Even in WB, they had one of the bumpers, and it was like Professor X was calling all the heroes or coming up with names for them, and he's like, "What about me, Professor? Jean Grey," or something like that. He's like, "I can't think of anything." I forget exactly, but they made a joke about that.
That's weird.
For me, I started with that, but I love the original movies. I was a young superhero fan, and for a time before the age of Marvel, that was as good as it got. And to this day, I'm not sure if they fully have ever captured, kind of like Fantastic Four, I'm not sure if they've ever fully properly captured the spirit of the show.
No, I mean,
or the comic, rather.
The thing is with the Fantastic Four is that it's more of a comedy, if you think about it.
Yeah, it's more weird science kind of deal. But with X-Men, the X-Men movies, it felt like superheroes filtered through the lens of an early 2000s action movie.
Everyone was in black leather.
Yeah. Because we have never had Wolverine in the yellow. And I feel like until we get that, we haven't really truly had an X-Men movie.
They haven't gone camp with it at all.
That's the thing with heroes. You gotta embrace a little campiness.
Yeah. Just that was not the era of camp. That was the era of edge.
Yeah. I mean, Magneto was always the best part of those movies.
Yeah, I've seen the very first one the least. I love the second one. That one I feel like holds up, and everyone calls on that one as like a high watermark. Mm-hmm. The third I enjoyed as a kid, but it's really dumb.
Yeah, it's really bad.
Yeah.
From what I remember.
Didn't they kill Cyclops in that one?
Yeah, he dies off screen. That's how little.
Really?
Yeah.
That's why just.
But he was terrible in the movies. They never.
Is that
gave
the one
him...
where they attacked that prison? Am I thinking right?
In the third one?
Yeah.
I don't.
Like it's
not a prison.
They have like the prison, the plastic guns to fight Magneto.
Yeah.
Okay, that's the one. Yeah.
It's where they keep that kid.
They don't let Cyclops do anything in the movies. At least in the TV show, he got to do things, but in the movies, he never got to do anything.
No, they completely mishandled him, and I think up until like Days of Future Past, that's kind of where I lost interest.
Yeah.
Because then it always turned into, oh no, Magneto, don't do the bad thing. We got to stop Magneto. Like, it's always, hey, Magneto, we need your help. Okay, I'll help you. And then, oh no, Magneto has betrayed us. Mystique, who is a good guy, help us out, Mystique. You're a main character for some reason. Why is Mystique a main character? She's just like a side villain that works for Magneto. It never made any sense to me. I don't know if that was because they cast Jennifer Lawrence as her, and then her star kind of bloomed, and they were like, "We got to give her more parts." And she was like, "Please, for the love of God, get me out of this blue makeup. I will pay you guys to quit casting me in these movies." And then they murdered her in Dark Phoenix, and that's the only reason I would ever watch that movie is because she dies in it.
I remember Mystique wearing the white.
Yeah.
And it would change with her. So I never really understood the full extent of her powers.
Yeah, I know.
It's like a double fruit.
Because she can make clothes.
Right.
I can kind of buy that.
Well, then that means she can transform the immediate objects.
So maybe she's not wearing clothes. Maybe that's her body.
Right.
Yeah.
That would make sense.
Yeah. But then the Apocalypse, going back to that, we were all over the place with X-Men. Apocalypse turned into the Power Rangers. And not even in a kind of campy, corny fun
So
way.
a serious Power Ranger?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
And yet another movie where poor Oscar Isaacs was kind of just
it would have been funny
ruined or not used to his full potential.
Are we talking about where it was the Power Rangers in Apocalypse?
Yeah, I'm saying that movie feels like a Power Rangers
yeah,
movie.
Can you imagine if Apocalypse came out and said, "I am ooze"?
I think there was a serious Power Rangers movie because I remember watching it.
Well,
there was a Power Rangers movie.
was-
No, a serious Power
what?
Rangers. Yeah, they were fighting this lizard man. I barely remember it.
What?
Lizard Man.
Yeah, they were fighting this lizard guy. He was kicking their tail all the time.
I don't remember that.
It was a bit more serious. It wasn't quite the old stuff as far as
We
I
don't
remember.
know that. We don't.
That's weird. Maybe it's because there's been a million other series after the originals.
Yeah.
Maybe they did a movie for that,
We're
like
only
a TV
familiar with the originals.
Yeah,
Jake.
I don't know. Power Rangers Ninjas, Power Rangers Pirates. I stopped it when they fought a brick wall that was trying to destroy their garden
That's the
lot.
best episode.
Wasn't he like?
That's what I'm saying. I was.
Did he turn him into bricks?
Yeah, he turned him
Yeah,
into brick.
I was like, you can't top this. You have to stop now.
And then Billy had the final by himself and his wolf.
Well, that's how they did a lot of those episodes. Is that you would have it where the rest of the characters got turned into this inanimate object.
Yeah.
Like there was the game guy who turned them all into like giant
Pinballs?
Pinballs, yeah. I
It
remember.
wasn't all the time.
Well, because
Not all the time, but
I'm not sure if it changed by that point, but the fighting scenes were from Japan.
yeah.
Yeah.
Which is why Yellow
Yellow
Ranger
is a man.
and her womanly parts vanish when she's a Power Ranger. And
never
that may be
noticed that
why they
before.
had to write some of them out, because there was probably a plot line that involved the others having to leave or whatever, and that's why they needed them to be bricks or pinballs or whatever.
The one that scared me the most was the clown who turned people into cardboard. I had nightmares. I hated that episode.
Okay, we are officially. This is now a Power Rangers podcast. It's not what I'm just saying that. Let's go back to it. I'm just saying that I have fallen off the X-Men wagon and they've become quite tiresome.
Well,
so I wasn't very excited about this, but
There is a Power Rangers movie. We can do that.
We've been thinking about it. We've fallen off superheroes for a while now, as we've
Yeah.
talked about. Ever since I'd say Endgame.
yeah, because I don't know where. I don't have any interest. Like, where are they going to go from here? That's going to be, engaging. Like, all my favorite characters are not going to be it anymore. It's all going to be the B list.
Yeah.
Heroes. Like, I don't care about Valkyrie. To me, she's the worst part of all the Thor movies.
Oh yeah, her. I keep forgetting she exists.
Yeah, it's just like, what is there to... But I still love superheroes, the concept. I just
Yeah.
feel like a lot of modern writers don't get superheroes, and they do it wrong. And that's maybe I'm just pretentious and an elitist about comics, but...
I blame Alan Moore
Why?
because he started the whole deconstructing the superhero genre, and everyone wanted to copy him. So this is
Well, I'm not saying it's because of deconstruction, just coming because a lot of writers suck nowadays.
Yeah,
Well,
they're really bad.
I don't mean against Alan Moore. I really like Watchmen and all that, but I'm saying he started a trend
Say
that hasn't quite.
Weifman?
Watchmen.
Oh, you're the Weifman.
I'm slurring my words here.
I wasn't trying to make fun of you. I'm just like, that is something we need to explore a little more.
Wife?
The wife.
You don't even have your book.
I don't.
Your
It's true.
notebook.
I keep forgetting.
Well, what I wanted to say was
We have gone right now about 18 minutes before we've even gotten to the trailer.
That's the curse, because we always say, oh yeah, this one's probably going to be a shorter episode, and then we always do this.
Let's get to the trailer.
Well, I just
Yeah.
wanted to say that Alan Moore started a tradition of deconstruction that has not quite ended yet.
Yeah.
Everyone wants to be the next, Watchmen,
Really though? I mean, there's
Intellectual.
been a ton of campy, like schlocky
I'm not
superheroes.
saying it's 100%, I'm just saying.
Yeah,
It
I mean,
kicked
maybe.
into overdrive, but it's starting to die down now, thank goodness.
Yeah, so we still love superheroes. Not as impressed with modern superhero media post
I
the Marvel.
I think Glass was really like we watched that.
Oh yeah, that was another thing we did.
That is really good.
Glass
in my
was
opinion.
good.
Glass
I
was
enjoyed it.
incredibly good.
Yeah.
I know there's like a bit of contention, especially about the ending, but I actually really enjoyed.
To me, that was a
all of
good
it.
example of actually how to do subversion properly.
Yeah, it was in terms of deconstruction. That was one of the best ones.
Yeah. Okay, well, to summarize, not so hot on the X-Men anymore. Wasn't terribly excited about the New Mutants, but I was like, they're kind of going at it from a different angle, this like horror angle. That kind of had me curious.
Yeah, I heard about that.
Well, congratulations, we're going to be the 5th viewer.
Wow, where did I find this trailer?
It's the final trailer.
And I also want to say, spoiler alert, heavy spoiler alert. I'm going to be revealing stuff about this movie. If you want to see this movie, probably stop listening right now and come back.
All our things are kind of spoilers.
Yeah, I don't feel as bad usually because we usually talk about them like 4 months after they've been out, but this just came out, so
Yeah.
let's watch the trailer.
They all
It's
died
feeding
together.
time.
Yeah, it's feeding time.
Feeding time.
All right.
She literally has magic. She's teleporting around.
Okay, well, yeah, I mean, science to a primitive person would be called magic, Luke. Haven't you heard that line in several movies?
And magic to a science person would be called science.
What is this, like, what is a king to a god? What is God to an unbeliever? Kanye West levels of...
Well, no, it's like the finish to the quote.
I see, okay.
So it's a longer quote. It's from Outlast, I believe. I heard it from.
I've heard it in several things, but
yeah,
okay, the trailer's over.
Trailer's over.
Done. Okay. So I mean, on the onset, it looks entertaining.
Yeah, it looks different. You know, it's a lot more creepy, a lot more sinister than what we've had in the past.
I think it's pushing it a little bit too much.
Okay, well, explain why. Why do you say that?
Oh, well, it's just a typical, it's a scary building and there's people in gimp suits walking around like animals, you know?
Can we say gimp on the podcast? Is that PG-13 or?
I think it's fine.
Okay.
People in tight-fitting leather suits and white masks are crawling around everywhere. It's just...
Well, the thing is, I guess they can, but your enemies have to be way more powerful than your heroes, I guess, at least from the beginning, because otherwise it's just an action movie with some creepy elements.
I mean,
you see what I mean?
I mean, you can have a creepy house, but can you, like, maybe try harder with the minions instead of going, oh, what's the creepiest thing you think of? Black leather and a white mask.
Well, there's explanation for all of that. It's not just random. I guess we can delve into the plot. I was going to also talk about why this got delayed. And I think it suffered from the Fox Disney merger. I think it got caught up in that shuffle.
I see, yeah.
And it took them forever to eventually edit it. It's like they filmed it, the director couldn't edit it, I think, because they were trying to deal with the merger, and then he finally came back to it a few years afterwards. And
he's a whole stickler. He was like, we edit this on Windows 3.1.
What is that?
It's like, he said he couldn't edit it. It's like,
he wanted a new thing to come out.
Yeah, he was just like, we only have Windows 3.1.
I think he's saying that they're using such old editing software, it takes them forever.
Yeah. I thought he was saying, this is going to be a difficult movie to edit. I need a future editing software that doesn't even exist yet. Yeah. Why?
It's like that movie, they locked it in the vault for 100 years.
Yeah.
They're going to release it.
When is that game released?
In 100 years?
I can't remember when that was.
It's like a film. It's like John Malkovich is in it.
Yeah.
It's like some movie. It was a some kind of alcohol brand they're promoting. It's like the dumbest thing I've ever heard. It's like when the Wu-Tang Clan, they made an album that they weren't going to release and put it into a museum. And then that Kelly guy, he ended up buying it, and he was streaming it all night. It cracked me up. I don't ever see the point of that. It's just, I mean, it strictly is for advertising, but why would you waste your time filming all that? Probably just a joke. It's probably 5 minutes.
Yeah, I know.
Sorry, we weren't going to spend the money to film a 2-hour movie
and lock it in a vault for 100 years.
Yeah, we're not going to do that. But I feel like we want to talk about everything but the New Mutants.
I think that should be the practice from Hollywood going forward, is to make movies and then release them 100 years later.
What is this, make it wide?
I mean, that's kind of what they've had to do due to the goings-on in the world currently, by accident. So yeah, this got delayed forever. Everyone was curious about it, and it came out, and it's kind of met with a unanimous shrug.
Oh, that's the worst thing that happened to a movie.
That's what I was going to say. I almost wish it had come out and it was catastrophically bad, because then it would be like Cats, where it'll never leave you.
The nightmare.
You're sleeping out.
The nightmare haunts your waking mind.
Yeah. But either really good or really bad. Sometimes is what you got to aim for. But right in the middle, I don't know.
Mediocre.
That's the worst thing that a movie can elicit, is a meh.
I mean, sometimes yes, sometimes no, because sometimes you want a bloodshot. You want a middle of the road just to. But yeah, this seems to
but just a straight up down meh.
Yeah, this seems to be.
I think we should give it a pro for attempting to be horror.
Attempting to be. Yeah, I'm going to talk about that.
Because I know for a fact they did not follow through with it.
No, and I'll go ahead and.
And that's what I mean with the powers and stuff. How do you follow through with a superhero horror movie like that?
Well, I'll tell you how.
Where you're.
Well, you make them their own worst enemy because they can't control their powers.
That's what the movie is about. Okay, this movie ripped off Teen Titans. Okay, in Teen Titans there's an episode where they rent a horror movie and they Shanghai Raven because she doesn't want to get involved. She just wants to read her book.
Yeah.
They get her to watch it with them, and the movie freaks them all out. But like Raven denies that it had any impact on her. Then later throughout the night, they're all attacked by monsters and horrifying things and pulled away. Then at the end of the episode, they realize Raven is manifesting these monsters because she was repressing her fear over the movie.
Right.
And because she repressed it, it broke out and became horrible monsters. That's what this movie is. The Native American chick, her ability is to manifest people's fears.
Oh, I see.
So what all these people are seeing is things they're afraid of. I don't know why that one guy's afraid of coal miners, but...
I mean, it's clever, especially the coal miner bit. I think fear of coal miners is not really talked about that much.
It's a unique fear, I'll give it that.
I know, it probably affects tens of Americans every year. So
mainly in West Virginia, probably.
Coal miner phobia. Because apparently there's smiley men, which I want to say is... Because I think Magic, the Russian girl, was like... in human trafficking, and so they embody the evil men that took advantage of her.
Oh, I see.
That was my theory. I don't know for sure.
I just think that they represent positive emotions and general happiness.
Smiley man. So she's repressing her happy feelings.
Yeah,
she's trying to be an edgelord.
She's trying to be an edgelord, but they're like, "Hey, we're the happy feelings, you know? Come on, smile." They're trying to, and when they fall on you, they're just trying to tickle you and stuff.
I see. So they're not scary at all.
No, but they're scary to her because she's like, "No, they're gonna make me be positive and smile. I can't have that. I gotta be the cool magic girl."
Kind of undermines the horror a little bit.
Well, you don't see it coming, you know?
Yeah. But see, to me, it would be scarier if they were independent from their powers. To me, a horror movie, it should be some sort of like outside force. That's my pitch for this movie is you have these mutants, these kids that have... I don't even see why this needs to be an X-Men movie other than the branding.
Yeah, it's all about branding.
X-Men it's about a team, it's about dealing with society. You know, what does X-Men have to do with kids locked in an asylum? You know, it's...
Well, that's just society. We're all stuck in the asylum.
I guess so.
Would it have been better as kind of more a institution? I guess kind of like...
Well, it is an institution.
Well, yeah, but more of like a...
school?
Not that, but, you know, like... pure white, you know, it's unsettling what they're doing to these kids, basically, kind of thing. It's less of the supernatural horror, but more of the, I guess, real horror of being trapped in a place where you can't escape, and these are sinister actual scientists who are trying to figure these, you know, taking them apart, basically.
Yeah.
You know, you could do it that way, I feel.
That would play into the whole
more
X-Men
clinical kind of...
and it wouldn't have to be, it's a scary haunted house.
Well, because they always say that, like, X-Men is, like, a metaphor for, like, gay rights, or, I mean, I feel like...
Well, it's any cause that with marginalized groups.
Yeah.
That was the basic premise of it.
Well, that would play into the whole, like, hey, we're going to lock you up and change you to be the way we want you to be, and it would play better into the X-Men themes. But I'm saying, this idea I like.
Right.
I'm saying just make up your own random heroes.
Because you can have a superhero... group against eldritch horrors. That's a cool idea.
Well, that's what I want. I want it to be
pure,
this like horror movie flip, this horror movie subversion, I guess. Mr. Johnson would be happy to hear about that. A subversion of horror where you have these kids, they seem like they're vulnerable and they're plagued by ghosts or an eldritch being or like something like it. But they all have abilities, so they can actually fight the horror directly. Right. That's what I want. But this is more that they're grappling with one of their own party members who can't control themselves.
They're grappling with teen anxiety.
Yeah,
right? Growing up.
But but then it's not really...
It's a coming of age story.
It is a coming of age story.
What I want is mutants versus mutants versus Cthulhu, mutants versus ghosts.
Yeah, that's what we want.
Monster versus aliens.
But this isn't that. This is kind of mutants versus illusions conjured by one of their party members. You know, it's not...
I feel like that's a con, but I don't know how to phrase it.
I don't know either. I mean, it's hard to blame the movie for that. It's just, me personally, I love this film. Me personally, that's what I would like to see.
Personally, I would like to see a better form of horror. It's a pro because it attempted.
Yeah.
But it's a con because...
Why do you say pro-con?
I guess that pro we did have should have gone into the pro con because it attempted but failed. We like the idea, but they didn't go far enough. All right.
I like that you keep saying party member like it's an RPG. So I just think let's put this character in our party and just start slowly killing your other people.
Well, I couldn't think of how else to put it, but I don't know if I'm explaining it properly, but
I think you are.
Yeah.
You want more.
You just want more.
I want mutants in a horror movie. I don't want a horror movie caused by the mutants, I guess is what I'm saying.
But again, it's more, as I said...
Like one guy has 6 fingers, and another guy has webbed feet.
Yeah, that's all their abilities are.
It's like a coming-of-age story with horror elements, I guess, and mutant powers.
Again, I'm not against this. It's just not quite my tempo.
As people point out, it's just like a teen drama, really.
Yeah.
It's
like the ingredients are there, but you didn't make the meal I wanted.
Teen drama.
Teen drama. What's wrong with teen drama?
I don't know.
It's messy and it's dumb to watch.
Because it doesn't work in this, I guess. Like, why is that the focus? It should be mutants in horror, not teen drama mutants in horror.
How about we have?
Because it's too muddled.
I don't know. I mean, I feel like it could work.
Do you think the movie would have been better if they weren't in an institution but in a coal mine?
Well, that guy would be really
would dial
afraid.
up the fear more, for people who are afraid of coal miners.
I was thinking it's a very underutilized location.
Yeah, but I mean, like, teen drama and horror often go hand in hand because, like, the fear of puberty becomes like a metaphor for, say, werewolves or, just the fear of the unknown. It can work. It's just, like I said, I want mutants in a horror movie.
Yeah.
I can see it now. Teen drama, mutants versus horror in a coal mine. It's beautiful. It's all coming together.
It's becoming a horrible abomination
I love
of
it.
elements. So the one thing I don't know is what is the demon bear her conjuration?
Is she afraid of bears?
Or is that some independent force that's chasing her?
I do have the answer for it.
Okay.
I mean, I know it. I don't remember if I picked up a review that actually talks about it. But I can spoil it that, yes, it just is.
Okay, it is just a conjuration?
It's just a conjuration.
Okay.
A trick of the lights, a phantasmagoric entity.
And eventually she just says no to it, and that's it.
That's right, it's like It syndrome. All you can do is insult him and he dies.
Yeah, I know. Well, they gotta quit using that for their big finale.
Like she's talking to a dog, this giant demonic bear creature. Like, no, bad demonic bear.
They all just start insulting the bear and it grows smaller and they just step on it.
Look, swipe or no swiping can't be your finale. I'm sorry. Con, a no finale?
Con, swiper, no swiping.
Listen, you can't just solve your fears by just turning to them and saying no.
Why not?
I mean, it's just like, I'm afraid of water. Well, turn to the water and say no.
No water, bad water. Really, to calm water, you just have to whip it.
Yeah, okay. Xerxes? It's a relatively obscure historical joke for you folks out there. That's why you come to this podcast.
Do you have any other notes?
I have a couple. I didn't know if we wanted to delve into the more controversial aspects of this movie.
I mean, we have bored so many times. I think Frozen 2 was one of the ones where we really were pushing it a bit.
Probably, but I just find it funny why they're mad.
We can talk about it.
Yeah, because I mean, a lot of the characters don't look like how they do in the comics, but
well, that's to be expected.
That's been my beef with these movies for a long time.
They're in their street clothes.
Well,
yeah. Well, I mean, like their personal attributes.
Kind of going off that, one thing that bothers me is it does look just kind of like a crummy TV show, like Umbrella Academy or
CW.
The Watchmen
Titans.
or the Teen Titans.
At least in the live action Teen Titans, some of them wear costumes, anyways. But.
Right, but I'm talking about like how it looks. It looks cheap. Because it doesn't. As far as I know, it didn't have that big of a budget.
Beast Boy with green hair.
People in one building, They pumped all the... Yeah.
It's like that Adam Driver movie. It's a superhero TV show all in one room.
What, the Marriage Story?
Yeah.
Mutant Story? It's just mutants screaming at each other?
Well, they're superheroes, but it only takes place in one room, so they'll leave and fight crime, they'll come back, and they'll be like,
that's
drama.
actually a cool idea for a movie, because then,
really
in the distance, you see them fighting, or they smash through the room or whatever.
And then they come back, and the weather's like, I hate you!
I don't know. I like that. I wish
I like that idea.
someone. Yeah. Okay. Steve Tyler.
That's a really obscure joke.
That's an inside joke. No one's even gonna get that. But
If you go,
explain for the folks at home.
Okay.
That joke is funny.
so if you go to Disney World and you go to the Aerosmith ride, there's the short clip that plays, and for whatever reason near the end, where one character suggests to Steve Tyler, "Hey, let's get
Is
a
it
bunch."
Steven Tyler or Steve Tyler? I think it's Steven.
Steven Tyler, whatever.
Terry.
She's like, "Let's get a bunch of limos for these guys," and he's like, "I like that idea," and he puts his hand on his forehead.
In a weird gesture I've
And
never
then
seen
he
before.
connects his ring finger to his thumb and
Yeah.
places it forward on his forehead.
It's really weird, and
Yeah.
we reference it all the time.
That's how he signals to his dealer he needs another hit. But, yeah, so that's an inside joke for the family. Thank you for explaining. What the heck were we talking about? Oh, the controversy.
Yeah, the controversy.
The fact they don't they're not their characters in the comic book.
Yeah, well, they're all like different. Like I think Maisie Williams, the character, the werewolf chick, has like red hair and she doesn't. But what they're mad about is that they slightly, quote unquote, whitewashed the Brazilian character. Because in the comics he's Afro-Brazilian, and in this he's just Brazilian. Like he's not the right shade of brown for
Okay.
their preferences.
He's still Brazilian, though.
Yeah, even though I've seen versions of him in the comics where he fluctuates in darkness. Sometimes he's blacker, sometimes he's lighter.
Is that his superpower?
I guess so. I don't know. I thought he was fire, but apparently he's skin tone changing. So,
Change how much melanin he
Pro.
has in his skin.
or is that Con? Con, one has melanin changing abilities.
It's a joke. I can't do it.
Say it, I'll just censor it.
Well, you can change his privilege.
Yeah, he can't. He becomes so white that everyone just bows before him. He has all the privilege in the world.
Creepy, really creepy,
He's just
Nordic elf,
glowing. He's translucent.
grossly
Look,
incandescent.
I'm not cutting that. That's funny.
No, it's very funny.
But like they complain about that. But we had Domino, whose sole characteristic is chalky white skin, and they made her a black chick with a blaxploitation fro. I mean, they're playing loosey goosey with the how they cast these things. They don't give a crud.
They made Commissioner Gordon black.
Yeah, why can't we have just a Brazilian guy playing the Afro-Brazilian?
It's barely a change, though. It's still.
It's not. It's why it's so.
You're in the same wheelhouse. What does it matter?
Look, we try not to get too political on this podcast because that's probably the last thing this world needs is more.
We're just here to have a good time.
Yeah, but
I mean, I agree to it. Trying to adhere to character as best
that's
as
what
possible.
I want. That's what I want.
That's all we really want is
Yeah.
just adhering to the original character as they were created,
Yeah.
as much as possible. And if you get a Brazilian person to play a Brazilian character, it's fine. In my
That'd be
opinion.
like saying, I want this superhero is German, but I got a Swedish person to play it.
Well, they were complaining that there's English people playing Americans and stuff. I mean, they're
It's
not
the
really
same
that mad
phenotype.
because when you're they don't care as much when you're a certain skin color, but they do care what.
Before we get into the next segment, I was looking at the news and some of the headlines are incredible. We won't get into them, but is New Mutants an ending for the Fox X-Men universe? Which I assume, are they
I think would have to
completely collaborating with Marvel now?
I'm assuming didn't
Going
Marvel
under
buy
the-
them, so they kind of don't have any say anymore, right?
Right.
It was the problem in the first place.
Maybe we get like a halfway decent Fantastic Four now.
Where the New Mutants director was regretting doing New Mutants.
Yeah,
He's really regretting it.
they kind of burned him a bit because I think they kept changing stuff on him so much.
Oh, that's not good.
Well, he was working for Disney. That was the problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, the New Mutants director will choose next project more wisely.
Yeah.
So he's not too happy about
That's the
it.
problem. The big studios, they'll give you a ton of money and it's appealing and seductive, but they will take control over every single aspect. You
And,
just have to look at-
sometimes that's not a bad thing. In the
always.
in the vein of sometimes they're more wise and they rein it in.
I don't know what you're talking about.
That's right. I said the bad word.
I've heard of stellar combat, but
I said the magical curse word. Just bleep that out.
yeah. You're talking about the first iterations. I would say that.
But that was less studio interference and more just like the people around him, like the writers, his wife,
Yeah.
Well, maybe that's it. Maybe the studio is just garbage.
Yeah, studios they're terrible typically.
Well, because it's money people telling creative people what to do.
There needs to be a balance.
That money people don't. Usually they're like interested in the bottom line and what they think is going to appeal to people. And that can have its own merits, but sometimes they get out of control. And they get so scared that they end up neutering the product they have.
Yeah,
and sometimes the creative people go off the rails, and the other side is too afraid to tell them no.
Yeah, that's why it's so hard to get something that's good, because there has to be this delicate balance. We've been rewatching the Pirates of the Caribbean movies, and it's one of those things where it just feels like a miracle has occurred when you get, like, and especially in regards to the first one, a script that good, that tight, like clockwork, and every actor kind of firing on all cylinders and matching their character perfectly. It just feels like a miraculous thing has occurred, and you just savor it. You're like, mwah,
Yeah,
you're like,
perfection.
How did this happen? I'm so grateful it happened. And it just goes wrong a lot of times.
It goes really wrong.
Yeah.
So it goes Island of Dr. Moreau levels of wrong.
Few movies go that bad.
Second is
Apocalypse Now.
Yeah, that's it.
Which turned out great. But
I know, they got lucky.
Had a hellish shooting.
I love how the actor actually had a mental breakdown in the hotel room. They just filmed it.
Yeah. Well, it was Michael Douglas, and I think he got sick, so they just had his twin come in and film some of his scenes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was interesting. But, just thankfully in New Mutants, going back to Dr. Moreau, that, like, the kid from Stranger Things didn't have, like, a mini version of himself, like, hanging around and him insisting that he ends up in every scene. Thankfully that didn't happen. But he brings in his little brother from the show, and he's like, he will be in every scene with me.
The bucket on his head.
Yeah. Yeah, because I call him a kid, but he's probably older than I am. Or at least a little younger.
Midget.
No, I'm talking about the guy from Stranger Things.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's an adult. I called him a kid. He's probably my age.
He was
or
a kid
younger.
then.
Relatively. He was always a teen in the show. But where the heck are we?
I think we're at random reviews, are we not?
Yeah. This is
we're
going
to take a little bit of a pause. All right, let's get into some rando reviews.
It's feeding time again. We don't say anything at the beginning of rando reviews.
No, not really.
Other than we're like, yeah, I guess it's time for that. We've talked for 3 hours. Let's go ahead.
All right, first one is Brandon Chandler. 4 out of 5 stars on the Google. Had a lot of problems, but I like the style of the movie very much, and I wish that X-Men would continue to go in that direction. The biggest problems are all in the end, and it almost feels like the middle was cut. It just needed more build-up and suspense. That's all I needed for this to be great. So it sounds like it might be another of the ones that they don't have a second act.
Yeah, or the third act problem, where they don't know how to end it well. But yeah, and then too, I don't know if there was like... They said there were no reshoots, but I don't know if there was some kind of like, maybe they ran out of money or
maybe they just cut out the middle of the movie.
No, we're talking about he's talking about the ending isn't great.
Well, he's talking about how there's no middle.
Oh, did he say that?
Yeah, he said it almost feels like the middle was cut.
Maybe it was. Maybe there's like, hey, cut it.
I have no listening comprehension sometimes.
So again, there's no second act. It's like Venom, which you bring up all the time. It's a first and a third act.
But he also said the ending wasn't great.
Oh yeah, we're about to get into that.
Okay.
It continues. Spoilers. I could nitpick the last fighting scene all day, but basically, every character only got like one thing to do. The fire guys was just cutting chairs. If we don't get to see their powers beforehand, then we are building up to it at the end, and the build-up was not worth the wait. Why was Magic's portals keep randomly popping up when she wasn't even going through them? It's like they were trying to be cool, but it made no sense. The bear is confusing. Why is it a bear? Is she afraid of being afraid? In fact, you don't need to answer that. But show or something so that we are not wondering about it during the final battle. Again, all my problems might be solved if we just use more time to build suspend with everyone's fears instead of going one by one like some quota we gotta get Theo. I would have easily been willing to watch another hour of the movie if it was all about building that suspense.
I wouldn't go so far to say an hour.
I know. I was like, ooh, you would.
Maybe like 30 to 20 minutes.
Yeah.
So the fire guy, he just got regulated to cutting chairs. I think that's a con because they're really not using him to his full potential.
We got a giant monster. You want me to burn it? No, I want you to cut.
So the
chairs.
other guy, Magic's like going through portals, and the other girl's facing down the bear, and over in the corner.
Well, it seems like she's just spawning portals for no reason.
Yeah, she spawns portals to have a good backdrop when she talks.
Oh, okay, I guess so. She's just putting portals down randomly.
Aesthetic portals.
Over there in the corner, we got Fireboy. He's just cutting a chair.
I want to talk more about that. We got a lot of pros and cons here, mainly cons. So, the middle stinks.
Yeah.
And the ending's not great. So
yeah, the final battle is bad.
I just don't think there is a middle part. I think they just cut it for time.
Maybe Fire Guy cut it.
Along with the chair.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, I cut this film by accident.
I cut this film in half. And I repaired it with flex tape. That's why he's just black.
Big ad.
See, that's what happened. There's a first act. The second act is just black because they covered it with flex tape in the third act.
Yeah, but they couldn't complain about whitewashing in the middle of the movie.
Can't keep doing this.
So I'm just curious, why is cutting chairs important?
Good question.
Maybe to make like steaks or
stab the
barricades.
monster.
I don't know. They can shoot magic out of their hands.
Well,
Why are they cutting a chair?
I'm wondering if like their caretaker, it's kind of like evil stepmother. She's like, if you don't cut up all these chairs for firewood before I get back, you'll be in big trouble. So, kind of going in with the whole teen drama thing, they got to keep their caretaker happy and defeat this evil bear.
I see.
So he's on chair cutting duty while they're fighting. It just cuts back to him and there's like some music playing and he's just zoom, zoom.
Everything else has like a horror vibe or a dark vibe, but it's a perfectly lit room with him. He's just listening to music.
He's cutting chairs all film long.
Yeah.
There's so many chairs to break down.
The evil caretaker comes in and is like, you gotta cut all these chairs by the time I get back or you won't be able to go to the ball.
Yeah, at the very end we see him leaving in a limo. or
He clocks out.
carriage. Yeah.
Turns out it's just a day job for him.
You can leave anytime.
Come back tomorrow and I'll have more chairs to cut in half.
Okay, so we learned a little bit about the problematic structure of the film and the subplot involving the problematic Brazilian.
All right, then we have Daniel Adkins, and he gave it 1 out of 5 stars. Well, what can I say about this movie that will help you decide if you want to put out your money or not? Let's just say that halfway through this thing, you'll be wishing that you had the mutant power to either go back in time and tell yourself not to waste your money, or the ability to erase your own memory so you don't have to remember this garbage. I honestly found myself more fascinated with trying to see if I could hold my breath in between good scenes, but I kept getting lightheaded. If you really feel that you must see this, just wait for this to show up for free on a streaming service. It's so bad that it will probably be skipped over by Netflix and go straight to Pluto TV.
I don't even know what that is. Is that another streaming thing?
I'm sure it's some sort of cheap.
There's 40 million of them. He tied it in thematically with the whole abilities to forget or
go back in time.
Or hold your breath longer.
Yeah, I mean, that's a really weird way to entertain yourself while watching a movie. I'm going to hold my breath.
I mean, doesn't he have a phone?
Well, he's in a movie theater.
Oh, I think it was an experiment.
Well, it just came out in movie theaters?
Oh, I see what he's trying to say.
Yeah, he's like, can I get to a good scene before I need air?
Yeah, okay.
And he can't. Like,
yeah, there's no good scenes. That's what he's trying to say.
Yeah,
I just got
no
it.
good scenes. That's funny.
Human creativity can emerge in the most...
Well, that's what I'm saying. My theory is the finest working comedians today are the people leaving comments on random websites. Forget the people up on stage and stuff. Forget your Kevin Harts and your Amy Schumer. Your Kevin Harts and your Amy Schumers. Forget all those people. The masses. Comedy is within the masses.
Well, it's monkeys on typewriters.
Yeah,
I'm still waiting for you to mention a comedian.
Well, yeah, fair enough.
All right, then we got 2 short IMDb ones. We got Jake Davis, 4891, 2 out of 10. My freaking eyeballs. I haven't been this bored in a movie since the newest Fantastic Four movie. That's all he has to say.
That's harsh.
Oh,
Then
man.
Nutty Whiz, 1 out of 10. Ha ha ha, so awful. This junk they call a movie is like a blind man trying to herd cats. Utterly pointless. Avoid, avoid, avoid.
Okay.
Maybe that's a
Now-
subplot in the movie, is there's
now-
a blind man trying to herd cats.
Well, no, you see, he took a normal idiom, trying to herd cats, and he elevated it by adding a blind man. Dude, that's art right there.
Yeah, or what Jake's saying is he was inspired by something in the film. So we got problematic Brazilian cutting chairs.
Yeah.
Then what? We got like the Russian girl herding cats.
Well, she's not a
she's
blind
got
man.
portals.
She's not.
Maybe
blind.
that's why the portals are going. She's trying to get the cats to go into them. She's just spawning them randomly, so the cats will go into the portals and
I
end up
see.
in this room, the designated room.
That's interesting. They gotta survive a horror monster while doing chores.
Yeah. See, I'm starting to like the teen drama aspect a little more.
Yeah, maybe we should strike that from
Yeah,
the...
man.
No, keep it there.
Okay, but I'm gonna put it in
'Cause-
prose too.
Really, what's the greatest fear of a teen?
Chores.
Exactly,
Yeah.
or a job. You know, getting your first job is a scary thing.
Yeah. I was also thinking there was that. I don't know if you heard the legacy of that weird cat cafe with that crazy woman who ran it.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, and the classic line, "There are no cats, Kathy," or
Yeah.
whatever her name is. See, this is where all the cats are. Her shipment of cats got held up in this asylum. This asylum has a weird business model. I guess it's like prison, where they just give you jobs to do.
Yeah.
One involves cats. And she's trying to herd these cats for that cat cafe. But she can't because they're all over the place. I guess she's blind, or maybe she's not good with her portals, so she seems blind, and that's the illusion the reviewer's making.
Could be.
But I think we've cracked what happened to the cats.
All right, next one. Continue with IMDb. We have Edward D. Wan. 1 out of 10 stars. So that's it. Waiting for almost 3 years just for this. That was the title. Wow. I mean, could you imagine a movie that was projected in 2015, casting was done in 2016, and the filming was done in 2017, then got delayed for 28,333 years? And during the delay, there was no improvement in 28,333 years, and they just went along with it? 28,333 years should be quite enough for a story's improvement, but I guess it didn't work for this. Very disappointing.
You mean like hours or something? Or days?
Nope.
I think he's confused with that.
Or maybe he just...
How old is this movie?
I don't know.
Maybe-
They started filming this in the 1800s?
No, 28,333 years.
Oh, 28. I thought you said two that. Oh,
No.
Maybe...
Before the dawn of man.
Maybe he like... Maybe he exists outside space and time.
I mean, he would have to.
He's been waiting a long time for this. I think what we have here is that we've got a god who's been
or a
waiting.
Killer Man.
One of the Q from Star Trek, I guess.
He's like, I see in the future, it's going to be projected in 2015, the casting's going to be done in 2016, and then it's going to be delayed another 3 years, and now I have to wait 28,333 years for this whole thing.
Well, that is the limit. He can only see to 2017. He can't see beyond that because he would see that it was a bad movie.
Well, he can see it, but he wants to be there to...
Yeah, he didn't want to spoil it for himself.
Yeah.
Weirdo.
He just saw all the news about it, all right?
Well, think, if you're a god, and you could essentially look forward in time and kind of get excited about every movie that's ever going to exist. So that's what he's just doing to kill time back before man exists.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm just going to, watch trailers for movies that I won't see in eons, and get hype. But I can, imagine how we feel. We had to wait 3 years for this, and a lot of people are disappointed. This man has been, this being has been waiting.
This old one.
Yeah, has been waiting since before time existed.
Yeah.
And the movie
Ever
disappointed.
since the blind idiot god exploded outwards, he's been
Yeah.
hovering around the cosmos going, I'm waiting for the movie.
So his disappointment just must be unfathomable. He must be powering whole universes with his disappointment.
I wonder, if a lot of the Eldritch beings are movie buffs. They're really just mad because they're just waiting around for movies.
Yeah, I feel like most powerful, omniscient beings would, by accident, be movie buff because they would just be aware of everything all at once. So
Yeah.
they have seen every movie. Like Cthulhu and the idiot god
Well,
discussing,
Cthulhu likes to listen to him while he sleeps.
I see.
know.
He's a podcast man. He's not a movie guy.
Pastor's out there with his sheep going, man, I really want to go see that movie.
Just, like disgusting romantic comedies and like
He's probably the biggest movie buff because he wrote a play.
Yeah, he's an amateur screenwriter. In fact, he's been trying to get published for a long time.
People can't seem to get past the second act though.
Nobody will ever pick it up. They always just die and go insane.
Well, they get to the first act, but
is there a con here or a pro con? This movie is highly disappointing.
I think
for gods.
I think it's like the old ones, unknowable.
While you do that, we got back to Google. We got Tyrone Huggins, 4 out of 5 stars. I liked it. Nice and short, just about 90 minutes, and I liked all the characters.
Nice and short. It's like an average length movie.
Not anymore. Now everything's closer to 2 hours.
Yeah, no.
It is.
90 minutes is rare nowadays.
I remember that was the standard.
Yeah.
They all had really neat backstories and powers. The cast is legit 6 people, though, lol. I watched the credits because I thought there might be post-credit stuff. There wasn't. And it's one of the shortest cast lists I've ever seen. I really liked it, though. It was like a big-budget episode of Smallville or any of the teen-focused superhero shows that are on TV now.
Ew.
So
now I know why
there's only 6 people in this entire movie?
I guess.
Wait, so in terms of cast, does he mean like the people working on it as well? They just have the 6 people.
That's why it took so long to come out.
Yeah, it was really difficult because when they had a bunch of the monsters clearing on, it was the other 5 people plus they had to generate
the copy
and do trick shots. He's over there going, "Oh, I'm being fought by this monster."
That explains a lot. That explains why the middle was rushed and why the ending was terrible because they didn't have enough people to do it properly. Wow, I'm putting that down as... I
gotta say, it is rather money-saving techniques here to have your actors do everything.
Yeah, they're filming and doing
Well, that's what I was wondering when I was on IMDb and it was just like cast and crew and it was this Maisie Williams, Stranger Things kid, and Taylor
and all
Joy.
their roles after that.
Well, yeah, it was just them over and over and over again. I thought it was a glitch, but no, that makes sense.
I'm my
now.
own best boy.
Yeah, like they're all director, they're all stuntmen, they're all
catering.
Yeah,
it's like, kid, you know how to work this camera? Well, you better learn how to.
I love the fact this person thinks like 6 people small. Like I guess you haven't seen the film Carnage or Bug or any kind of stagey movie. Waiting for Godot must like blow this person's mind.
There's only 2 people.
I think there's 4 technically, but there's mainly the 2 guys.
All right, then we have Bailey Stevens, who is suffering from memory loss, but our condolences. 5 out of 5 stars. I'm trying to remember back when I watched this movie, but for some reason I'm struggling. But it was so good. Had the Boogeyman, Batman, and Slender Man.
Whoa.
When you think about it, that's a lot of men. If no one is around and a tree falls in the woods, does it make a sound? If so, I'd recommend. So, yeah, surprise me. Boogeyman, Batman, and Slender Man are in this movie.
I'd put that that's a pro, man.
That's definitely a pro.
That's incredible.
It's like, what's that monster over there? It's like, I'm Batman. It's just...
See, I guess one of them broke the law at some point. Batman beat him up, so now they're scared of Batman. I don't know.
There's the boogeyman who's singing around. I'm the boogeyman. Whoa!
I've come from the DC to beat you all.
Well, they're extra scared. You're not supposed to be here.
Batman, I can be wherever I want.
So Batman is technically an eldritch horde inside the Marvel universe. They look at him and it's just like fritzes their minds. Like, what is this?
They can't comprehend him.
Yeah,
reality bending.
He's not in the same universe.
No, it doesn't make. It's like seeing an angel in the Bible. It's like all eyes and stuff and glowing lights.
But Slender Man. What? Hang on a second. Are they having to go around and get pictures?
Probably. That's the plot. They have to run around.
One's hurting cats, one's chopping chairs, and one's trying to find the picture with a camcorder walking around.
There's a lot of subplots.
Well, this is a movie based on people's fear. If it was a bunch of Zoomers, I guess Slender Man would show up.
Yeah, I mean the Smiling Men are kind of Slender Man-ish, but I find it interesting he can't remember the film.
But he liked it.
Well, and that other person was talking about they wish they had the ability. So does this person have the ability to remove their own memory?
I
and
think
he
so,
thinks he liked it?
but he can't remove the emotions he felt when he watched it.
Right, so he has the vestiges. He's like, I guess I liked it. You know?
But he remembers Boogeyman, Batman, and Slender Man.
Well, that may just be the fact that his mind's all scrambled and he's adding these things in. But if they're in it, well, I'm a lot more interested now.
It would be interesting to have a big budget Marvel movie, and then all of a sudden the Boogeyman pops up. It's like scaring them, or Slender Man's out there, the field.
Well, I've always thought, I think other people have said this, a horror movie in quotes, where you're looking at it from the perspective of kind of low-level villains, and Batman to them is like a horror monster hunting them down.
Yeah, I think we talked about this.
Yeah, that would be a cool premise.
All right, then back to IMDb. We got Shameless 519, 4 out of 10 stars, titled Breadbox It. Whack. There's a reason Stan Lee didn't make a cameo, and it's not because he's passed.
Oh my goodness!
Don't dig him up.
I think this is the last movie he produced.
Oh, okay. Magic, the only saving grace of the movie. Hopefully we'll see more of this character in future films.
Oh, a little bit magic.
Sunspot, bootleg Johnny Storm, Wolfsbane, a poor man's Wolverine, Cannonball, whose only power is to fly, yet he takes flight like a drunken kamikaze who aspires to be a jackass. Moonstar, whose power is later revealed in the movie, so I won't spoil that. I tell you their names in comics because if otherwise, isn't revealed in the story. Admittedly, I don't know much about this series, which IMO gives it a clean slate to wow since I have no expectations. But boy, did these ninjas disappoint. The movie could be best described as a psychological thriller version of Twilight meets every CW show ever. Who makes a superhero movie without a tangible villain? Hopefully this can be the start of something, but I can say this is a franchise I'd care to invest much else in. But I can't say this. Oh, sorry,
okay.
that's right. This might have been better as a TV show or even a stage play.
That would be cool to do.
Superhero stage play?
Yeah.
Be a little limited, but have to be really clever at it.
This is kind of the setting that would work. Like we were talking about superheroes in a room.
Yeah.
I take it back. It's not Alan Moore. I think it's CW that's ruining.
Yeah, definitely. Continuing. If filming/production occurred in the midst of the Rana outbreak, I might be a little more lenient on the final product, but this was a film that added little to no value to the franchise. It's on par with the last F4 movie. Wakanda Forever, Rip Chadwick Boseman.
Yeah.
Rest in peace.
Yeah, I think it's funny people keep bringing up Fantastic Four.
It feels like it's similar because the last one was like... When you watch the trailer, you don't realize it's a Fantastic Four movie. So they're trying to do something different, but the studio always steps in and reverts it back.
Well, that's what I never understand, and Red Letter Media's talked about this. They hired these directors with a unique voice or idea, and they're like, we like what you have to say. And then they get them, and they're like, we don't like what you have to say. Holy cow, change everything. And they freak out, and that's what... Because, well, first of all, Josh Trank directed F4, the latest Fantastic Four. To me, his idea from the start was bananas and completely wrong. He wanted to do Fantastic Four, but body horror, which I think
it's his own idea.
Superhero body horror is cool, but Fantastic Four is the goofy 60s era adventures.
It's like Superman, the modern one.
Yeah, everyone has the wrong take.
Make a dark Superman.
Yeah, and this one feels... But this one, like you said, since the characters are a little more blank slate and they're not well known, I feel like you could have pulled this off a little easier, but it does have that like super dark...
I just have one thing to say about Fantastic Four. If you're going to make a movie, there's only one source you need. The 1960s cartoon. Watch it. That's all you need.
Yeah, if the Thing's not making playground equipment with his bare hands, then you.
That was a different series.
Okay,
that was a kid turning into the Thing.
Oh,
was that the one with the wooden gun?
Yes. They fought Magneto in his hovering metal car, and Richard Reed defeats Magneto by pointing a gun at him and going, "Can you bend this?" And he's like, "Yes, I can." He's like, "No, I can't. Why not? Why can't I bend it? My powers are gone." He's like, "This is just a wooden gun." He's like, "It's wooden," and he gets arrested. That's it.
Yeah, they tell him why he couldn't as he drives off in a metal car to jail. His abilities are not stopped.
It's the most magical thing ever.
Yeah, but if they did a Fantastic Four with that kind of level of camp, Might be interested. Might be the dumbest movie ever, but I'll be very interested.
I think we need more dumb movies right now.
Yeah.
Intentionally dumb movies.
Yeah.
All right, last two. We got Robert Madden.
Playing good football.
Writing good reviews. You're writing good reviews. 5 out of 5 stars is the Google. I just want to get on the bandwagon of praying reviews about a movie that hasn't come out yet. Lol. You guys remember the guy from Stranger Things is in this, right? I mean, he was still young when they shot New Mutants, but have you seen him now? He's only got like half a head of hair now. This is how long this movie has been in post-production. I know, I had more hair way back then too. Yeah, I've got half a head of hair as well. I blame my father. He also was a bald man. Speaking of baldies, is Professor X in this? Oh, is Legion in this? That would be so rad. I give New Mutants 5 is because the trailer was so good. I mean, it's been almost a decade, and we are still thinking about it night and day, am I right? So to cap it all off, Epstein didn't kill himself.
Okay, we need to sue this guy because he's stealing our concept. He's reviewing movies he hasn't seen. And also, that was a hard 3 years for this guy, and apparently the Stranger Things
Apparently it was a
actor.
decade.
Well, if you believe the god, it's been 28,000 years or whatever.
Maybe he is a lesser older one.
with
Demigod.
with bad hair genetics.
Yeah.
All right, last one. We have Tech Freak. No score or anything. I'm from Future. I watched this movie. In it was trash and good and bad and fine and trash and good and bad. It is.
Are you okay?
I don't. How many zeros is that? 1, 2.
This is a Googleplex.
Yeah, Googleplex hours long and has ex-husband in it. And why is this jeans so blue? It's not denim, is it? Future has Disney own everything, and him and you everything, so it's bad. It has Blue Hunt in it. What is this name? I don't like it.
Okay, I can't believe that guy he talked about in one of the initial reviews. He talked about someone going back in time or erasing their memory.
Yes.
And we literally had 2 reviews afterwards where both events occurred.
Yeah.
And this guy apparently. He didn't erase his memory, but his brain was clearly fried through the process of time
Also,
travel.
nobody seems to have any concept of time. We've got gods who are
Yeah.
looking in the future. This guy's waiting hours of. Apparently, this movie is millions and billions and trillions of hours long.
I mean, that would explain why it took so long to film or get complete.
An ex-husband in it.
Ex-husband?
I don't.
Wait, his ex-husband's in it?
Well, I think the mutant ex-husband is in it.
Is he affiliated with the Wifeman?
Oh, yes, he is.
You bring it. Their ability is they'll come in and help you with your kids. And the ex-husband, he's just someone you used to be married. His ability is that he's always someone you were previously married to. For all people,
Really,
view him in that way.
when you come across him, it's just always awkward. That's his
Yeah,
ability.
that's his
So-
I never
yeah.
met you till today, but this is awkward.
yeah, I
Yeah.
feel like we've been married before. I'm not even gay.
What
but
a
I feel like I
horrible
married you.
superpower.
Okay, so this movie, you would literally die before you finish the movie. I thought it was 90 minutes.
It's a
but-
movie only God can enjoy.
So it was 90 minutes. Maybe this guy's perception of time is so slow at this point.
Because he's gone back in time.
Yeah.
Someone's gotten off. Some temporal flux is
So
out of whack.
whenever he watches a movie, it's slowed down to the point where
Yeah.
it feels like that it takes that long
He's
to
like
watch.
a pigeon.
Yeah. Hey, Colin, we learned that from Spies in Disguise. Hey, there's a lot of different people watching this movie. It's quite an interesting mix. Time travelers, gods, mutants with memory removal powers. It's.
Time travel powers.
I guess they saw, I guess it brought out all the mutants of the cosmos.
I guess so. Because, mutants really like this
It wasn't in
movie.
the other X-Men movies, it was this one in particular.
Well, they're like, these are the new mutants. I gotta get in and see what the new mutants are doing. New mutant news. Mutant news for mutants.
Get out there and give me pictures of mutants, Parker! I want those new mutants.
That's it for random reviews. And remember, reviews change lives.
Yeah. I don't even feel like putting anyone in, like, the box of shame or
No,
anything.
everyone's pretty standard.
Yeah, I was pleased with that batch. It was a good crop of reviews.
Oh, thank you. I always try my hardest.
All right, so facts and follies, or in this case, I think it's trivia and quotes. Let me bring it up here.
I regret making this movie.
which I think was one of the trivia, honestly. Okay, so one of the first lines of the movie is from Danielle Moonstar, the girl who's ruining everyone's day with her abilities.
I see.
I hate all of you.
She says, there is a Native American proverb that says, inside every person there are two bears, forever locked in combat for your soul. One bear is all things good, compassion, love, trust. The other is all things evil, fear, shame, and self-destruction. Now, I'm no Native American, but isn't that two wolves inside you?
Like, yeah, I heard it as the wolves.
Bears.
Oh,
Am I crazy?
Somebody brought that up in a review. I didn't grab that one.
Yeah.
And I didn't understand at all what they were trying to say, but now that makes a lot of sense.
I've always heard there are two wolves inside you.
I've heard coyote, I think.
Well, at least that's close to it. Do they just pick, is every tribe of Native American to say, oh, we like coyotes, so we're going to do that in our saying?
They really liked the concept of a giant demonic bear, and so they just changed the quote to match the bear.
Well, that's what I'm wondering. Is there
I'm gonna get a giant dog?
Is there a bear in the comics? And so they're like, hey, there's this quote about animals. Oh, man, it's wolves. Who cares? Change it to bears.
I know that there's two bears high-fiving, but not about fighting.
There's two bears high-fiving inside you?
Yeah, they're chums. It's like, yeah, how's it going?
His name is Demon Bear, all right?
Oh.
Yeah, Demon Bear.
Very apt description.
Demon J Bear.
Can we have a spin-off?
Esquire.
Can we have a spin-off series of the Demon Bear? It's him tormenting people, but he gets told no at the end.
He leaves.
Yeah.
Two
It's like,
bears.
oh, Bob.
I have seen...
Should have Googled this. But...
Wait.
Okay, the two bears. Apparently the Yaqui say there's two bears. Two very...
What?
I don't know. This is a different story about bears, I think.
What?
It's some Native American story about bears.
Oh.
It's not the two bears. I mean, there are two bears, but I don't think it is the two bears inside you. Sitting Bull said there are two dogs inside you. That was wolves. I always heard wolves. When I think of Native Americans, I think wolves, anyways.
Why can't you just say, but that's not Native... Well, that's not like a Native American tribe. It's just Sitting Bull. Why can't you just say, like, the Sitting Bull said...
Well, I thought that's why he said it, because it is this Native American saying.
It is? I mean, what tribe was he from?
I don't know. The bull sitters? I don't know.
Well, no, that's not where he got his name.
I don't know.
Well, let's not get hung up on it.
Yeah.
I read the little book with his face on it when I was a kid.
I don't know. I just thought that was weird. I was wondering if they were just twisting it and thinking we were dumb and wouldn't know. But I don't know. Maybe there's bears and maybe every tribe is a different animal. Maybe one is there's two frogs inside of you.
Two beavers inside of you.
Two beavers on you chewing on a tree.
We have angel and devil.
Yeah, that's the same thing. Okay, and then
It's Cherokee.
let's see.
It's a Cherokee legend.
Okay, Cherokee.
And it is wolves.
Okay, see, I was right. They just changed it because they're hack frauds.
Because there's a demon bear.
All right, now this kind of goes into the whole release holdback on the film. The film had 5 release date shifts. It was originally slated to come out on April 13th, 2018.
Well.
But was first delayed to February 19th, 2019 in order to conduct reshoots. Well, they said there weren't reshoots, so they always lie about reshoots.
Yeah, well, because reshoots are proof that something went wrong during the creation.
But the thing is, reshoots
Not necessarily.
aren't bad.
Most movies have a few reshoots.
It's when you're reshooting 60% of the movie.
Yeah.
No, I know,
it's
but
bad.
to them, it might be like, well, we don't want people to know.
Yeah.
Disney's afraid of reshoots.
Yeah,
now.
because Disney has reshot almost every movie they've come out with,
Yeah.
like almost completely half the time.
Yeah. Later, it was pushed back again to August 2nd, 2019, while Disney's purchase of Fox was finalized. It was pushed back yet again to April 3rd, 2020, to make room for the release of X-Men: Dark Phoenix. Wow, what a shame. What a great movie to get out of the way for.
Yes.
On March 12th, 2020, it was postponed due to the COVID-19 pandemic.
Pandemic.
I'm pulling a Luke here. Pandemic. on May 13th, 2020, its new release date of August 28th, 2020 was announced and finally released on. So here it is, folks.
Amazing.
Yay.
And Josh Boone admitted that he found shooting to be stressful as he felt a bit neutered because he had to tone down the film from his original full horror ideas.
Yep, so it wasn't his fault, it was Disney's.
Which I feel like maybe he was going more in the direction
We wanted to go.
I'm talking about, but
I think it was the miners that scared Disney.
yeah.
Tone that part down. We can't have physical labor shown.
Yeah, can we put in some like massive fans or some some solar panels. We don't like coal miners. They're scary. They were the ones who were scared of the coal miners.
Yeah.
Can we get some renewable energy cars that he's scared of, maybe?
That's even worse.
All right, so let's go through the pros and cons and review this sucker.
Yes.
All right. Cons. It's a teen drama.
Well, we struck that one from the record.
Well, it's in both rows.
Oh, that's right.
It has a no finale or a swipe or no swiping finale where you just tell the bad guy or the problem to go away.
You're an awful old lady.
What are you talking about?
It's it.
Oh, it.
Where she just screams, you're a terrible old lady. Like,
Yeah.
I'm trying to impress you.
Yeah, I was trying to scare you. I know I was. That was the point. There's a hero with the useless melanin changing ability. I mean, we did see there was one application, allegedly, but it focuses a lot on cutting chairs, which we're not necessarily against. It seems like
Well, extending that into more just jobs, basically. They were given odd jobs around the asylum.
yeah, which I realize we have a lot in the cons that aren't technically cons, but I guess the con here is maybe they focus too much on
it doesn't
chair
make a very good movie.
No.
Well, you have a
no.
guy with fire powers, and he's not blasting anyway. He's just cutting chairs.
Yeah, that aspect we don't like. Okay. The middle of the movie got venomed, and the final battle isn't that great. As we said, they just told the bad guy to go away, or the evil demon bear.
I'm not scared of you anymore.
Apparently, if you're a god who's been waiting for this movie for eons, it's going to be disappointing. In brackets, I wrote unknowable, although we can't really know how the gods feel about it, but that's our theory. Only 6 people were in the crew, which is, I think, part of the reason, they didn't talk about this, part of the reason why the movie took forever to come out, because they all had to do different
Yeah, maybe
jobs.
that was the reshoots. Maybe they got their shots. Like, this is horrible.
Let's actually hire a crew now. And if the time traveler is to be believed, you will die long before you finish the film, because it's like a Googleplex of time and length.
Or that just might be his perspective.
Yeah.
Pros, it is attempting to be horror. Didn't quite reach the heights or take the angle we would like.
Well, we'll
but-
give kudos to the director because
Yeah.
it wasn't his fault that his vision got ruined.
And I like this idea in general. And it deals with the coal miner phobia, which is
Very important.
unaddressed in most media, which is good. It does have teen drama elements, which we like their inclusion to a certain extent, apparently.
Yes.
It also features Boogeyman, Slender Man, and Batman.
Whole lot of man.
And I didn't mention this one, but they said there were ninjas, and I put ninjas question
Yeah, there's
mark, which
ninjas.
might also be interesting.
Well, maybe Batman's the ninja. He basically is.
Well,
Yeah.
maybe it's like those, stage plays where the men in black are moving things, and
Yeah.
And then
it could be like that.
And then one of them attacks them.
Well, see,
That's why they weren't credited,
Yeah.
but it helped them out. So, for their stunts and things, you can see the black men, they're moving, they pick him up, and they light fire near him,
Yeah.
he's on fire.
Well, that was the other 5 people in the crew when they needed enemies to come after one of the actors. The other actors dressed in black.
Oh, I
and,
see, yeah.
They puppeted the dummies of the bad guys to attack them. And pro cons, I wrote different horror. I think that ties into the horror pro, where we like the basic premise of superheroes versus horror. We just wish that it had actually, focused more on that.
Apparently
Well,
it
I think the
was.
different horror was the fact that it's growing up and getting a job and getting responsibilities. That's the horror of everyday life.
Well, and too, like I was saying, I wanted it to be almost like 2 genres combined instead of the horrors derived from the heroes themselves. And yeah, with that in mind, we have to review this movie. Anyone have a take right off the bat, or?
well,
Well, I'm going to have to give it around a 75 for Batman, because I really like Batman.
Okay.
that's pretty high.
And what do the 7 and 5 mean in this case? What
Well,
do
they don't mean anything.
Okay.
I couldn't find any meaning. I was thinking of 6, but
I
no.
think it's another push me pull you. 7 and 5. They just every score now it does.
Oh, you're right.
Pull you.
I didn't see that coming.
Yeah,
I mean, adding Boogeyman, Batman, and Slender Man all into one movie, you think it would be a lot, but honestly, I think it was probably the highlight. I myself am scared of miners and coal mines, so it's nice to see that phobia finally get some light.
Hey,
Yeah.
It's been underground for too long.
There's miners and miners in a coal mine.
it's Miners versus Miners. That was the working title. So what was your score, Jake?
Well, I was just about to get it, but unfortunately, because the horror wasn't quite the horror I wanted, I'm going to have to give it a 42.
42.
Like I said, I only gave it a high score for Batman alone.
Yeah, there's a lot here that I like. I am a little worried about the focus on chair cutting, you know. The chore aspect, I don't mind it. I just wish that wasn't such a heavy focus. I feel like that's why the middle's so bogged down with nonsense.
They kind of switched to like a how it's made type style.
Yeah.
He cuts the chair this way, you know.
Yeah, which doesn't make any sense. And it's mutants using their powers, so there's no real world application.
And they start singing like it's a Disney movie. It's like, I'm sitting here, I'm cutting all the chairs.
That's where the Boogeyman comes out. He joins the song.
I want to go outside and play.
And I'm worried about the length, because if that really turns out to be like millions of hours long, like I'm not gonna have time to finish that. I'm a busy man, so
But that's a whole lot of Batman.
They really tried to appeal to the gods with this one.
Yeah, but like they're disappointed because it's not quite what they were looking
They don't have
for.
disposable income, and anything they give you will drive you insane.
Well, they don't need to buy anything. They automatically know it. They're omniscient.
Yeah.
I'm going to go 55. I feel like it's a real, slightly above average, but only slightly.
So we have 57.3 repeating. Repeated decibels back. Hey, repeat.
Yay.
You thought you could kill me, but I never die.
I don't know how many times we have driven like a long way away from the house and dropped Repeaty off, but somehow he always finds his way home.
He has a good sense of smell. Until he's so long, he just extends back to us. He just turns around.
Is he like Mark Wahlberg in his movie?
Yes. The longest Wahlberg.
Yeah.
He hitches a ride with the longest Wahlberg. Okay, New Mutants on Rotten Tomatoes. From the critics, it got a 33%.
Wow, okay.
But from the audience, it got a 53%.
Wow, so the audience won this time.
Yeah.
They're closer to us. I guess the audience really liked Batman a lot, and the critics were like, what the Chris Batman doing here?
Yeah. This makes no sense.
Something is terribly wrong.
Yeah. So is there any other VIPs we wanted to point out?
How about the chair cutting guy?
Chair cutting guy.
I think he was our first one, Brandon Chandler.
Brandon Chandler.
We'll give it to him.
Brandon Chandler. And I feel like also the guy who was making jokes about powers deserves a nod too.
Daniel Atkins.
Okay.
We'll give it to both of them. They had some good insights, I'd say.
All right, review is done, and I think that caps off the episode.
Yep.
As always, you can get in touch with us through email, muchreviewan@gmail.com, and I have recently changed our on Twitter and Facebook. We're at MuchReviewPod now. We used to be at MuchReviewAN.
Yeah.
Which unfortunately our email still is.
MuchReviewAN.
Yeah. Which in hindsight I was like, why did I ever do that? But I didn't know the convention where you take like part of your name and add pod to it. And
it's a learning experience.
And I changed all that. And our Patreon is also that now too. So if you want to give to our Patreon and get access to bonus mini podcasts, we got like 2 or 3 at this point, and we have a ton of extra episodes. I forget how many we have at this point. We got like at least like 10 or 12.
We're always looking for and putting bonus content up there. That's not like our main content.
Yeah, so like for $1 a month, for $12 a year, you get way more material from us. Instead of having to wait like, a month for a new episode, you could get way more in between.
Yeah.
So I think if you like us at all, it's a good investment.
Another important thing that we don't really mention that much is, if you have the time, go ahead and give us some 5 stars on whatever platform you use, especially the iTunes.
Yeah.
It helps out a lot.
Leave us a review if you like us. I'm not going to tell you to, to give it to us no matter what, but if you enjoy us, please give us a review.
If you don't like us, leave us a review anyway.
Links down below.
Wait, don't say that.
Links down below for merch.
Yeah. Well, there are links down below.
Click the bell icon and, subscribe.
Yeah.
Also, we are at 90 minutes. We are a short movie.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll go ahead and call it there then. Thank you again for listening. I've been your host, Billy Greer.
I've been Jake Greer.
And I've been Luke Greer.
We'll talk at you later.
Bye.
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 That's all.